And I'm just tired of hearing it regurgitated over and over and over again that terrible things happen at your facilities. It's not true.
Dum-da-dum-dum. Dum-da-dum-dum-dum. Dum-da-dum-dum. Dum-da-dum-dum. Dana.
Live from downtown Detroit, it's No BS News Hour with my main man, LeDuff.
Live from downtown Detroit, it's the No Bullshit News Hour with Charlie LeDuff.
Na 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 na. No bullshit!
This is just it, breaking news. No more bullshit. No more bullshit.
I'm Grace Karos, and I'm third generation of American Coney Island. People say Detroit's a comeback city. I say, where you been? We've been here for over 100 years. My family's been here on the same corner, serving our famous proprietary American Coney Island hot dog. So like always, we're keeping things fresh, updated, and new. We'd love to have you come downtown and visit us, but if you can't, you can always go to AmericanConeyIsland.com, order a Coney kit, get it delivered fresh right to your door.
Hall Financial is putting more money in your pocket with our exclusive no-fee home loan. That's right, you pay no fees to Hall Financial. So in addition to our nearly 6,000 five-star reviews and our average 9-day turn time from application to close, you now pay no fees to Hall Financial. This is going to save you up to $2,500 in fees that you'd normally pay to the other guys. Start saving now, 866-CALL-HALL, or chat with us at callhallfirst.com.
This message of Uplift is brought to you by business and personal wealth advisor Luke Nowacki, who reminds you that what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but never enter the kingdom of God? But while you're waiting, Nowacki wants you to remember that overreaction is not a sound financial strategy. So call Luke Nowacki at 248-663-4748 for sound financial advice.
That us, man? We on? Okay. Well, it's war. Dana Nessel, Attorney General of Michigan, is going nuclear. Never seen such a thing. Tweeting me, never. Let me say this. Okay. Y'all watch the show, you know what's going on. I wrote a column in the Detroit News, an update on this nursing home bullshit. This is how that goes, and then I'm going to give you her response. I wrote that Attorney General Dana Nessel used her power to benefit a friend who was being actively investigated by her office. Internal documents show that friend, Tracy Kornack, is a personal injury lawyer. I'm sorry, that's the nice way to say it. Slip and fall lawyer and treasurer of the Michigan Democratic Party. Kornack was accused last year, you may remember, by the director of a West Michigan nursing home of using the account of her elderly, brain-damaged client to fraudulently bill an insurance company for nearly $50,000. Nessel, who has cultivated an image as the protector of the vulnerable and elderly, subtly pressured her staff to close the investigation and to provide Kornack with documents that would financially benefit her. It should be noted that Kornack worked on Nessel's transition team in 2018 when Nessel was first elected Attorney General. After the nursing home director's accusations appeared in my column in the Detroit News last July, an investigation into Kornack was opened by the Attorney General's office. Scott Teeter, the director of the AG's Financial Crimes Division, was so concerned about the obvious conflict of interest, he drafted a memo last September informing staff that he was constructing an ethical firewall to distance Nessel from the investigation into her friend. And I quote, "Because the suspect in this matter assisted with Attorney General Nessel's transition into office, I believe it would create the appearance of impropriety for AG Nestle to access information about this investigation. Specifically, if the Department of Attorney General declined to seek charges against the suspect, it might appear that the professional relationship between Attorney General Nessel and Tracy Kornak had influenced the investigation. Teeter went on, I'm asking for a conflict wall to be established, preventing Attorney General Dana Nessel from being provided or accessing any information related to this investigation. End quote. So the ethical wall was constructed. But Nessel barreled through it anyway, according to her own emails obtained in a Freedom of Information Act request. For instance, on December 5th, Nessel's chief investigator disregarded the ethics firewall and sent Nessel 4 active reports regarding the Kornak investigation. The next day, on December 6th, Nessel forwarded those reports to Fadwa Hamoud, her Solicitor General. Quote, Ms. Kornak has contacted me regarding this matter, wrote Nessel. Mr. Redacted's allegations are apparently holding up a potential judicial appointment for her in Kent County. She has requested the documents from our investigation. Nessel continued, I think she, Kornak, wants to be able to assert that the claims made by Redacted were never substantiated by our investigation and the case is closed. Please advise what our process should be. There is some urgency to the matter in that she needs to supply this information by week's end. The Kornak case was closed 2 weeks later. Oddly, Nessel's investigators never spoke with the whistleblower who filed the original complaint, Joe LeBlanc, former director of the nursing facility where the brain-damaged woman resides. It's unclear if Kornak ever received the documents. Neither she nor Nessel responded to 2 messages left by me seeking clarification. As for LeBlanc, a week after blowing the whistle on the powerful Democratic official, he was dismissed from his job at the nursing home and told never to set foot in the premises again. I'm just so disappointed, LeBlanc told me by telephone. Nessel takes the game, she talks the game of protecting our most vulnerable. We're talking about our parents and grandparents here. To find out she is really more interested in protecting her friends and special interests is beyond devastating. Now, this is not the first time Nessel has shown disregard for the ethical rules of professional conduct. Last week, a federal judge ruled that her office, that would be us, the taxpayer, must reimburse the legal costs of former Governor Rick Snyder after her office disseminated privileged communications between Snyder and his lawyers. And as for Kornak, her troubles continue. Law enforcement officials in Grand Rapids have confirmed to me that they are conducting a long-running and ongoing investigation into Kornak's financial dealings with at least one elderly client.
Wow. How does this happen? How does this exist?
Well, apparently it didn't, because this has never happened to me in my long career. There was I don't know what it was, a letter for retraction, a letter for clarification, a correction. It was sent by Nessel's office via U.S. mail and email to the editor and publisher of the Detroit News, Gary Miles. I never received it. I was never sent it. I wrote it. The way I found out about it was, please, man, I found out about it last night when my buddy who works in the sewer department saw it online. Nessel's people posted it and put it out as a press release, but never sent it to the member of the press that wrote it. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
You used to handle this stuff in government. You ever heard that?
No. And usually your first line is to reach out to the reporter before you go to the publisher or before you take it to try to make any clarification or clarify any misrepresentation that may have existed in the article. So your first line of defense or communication would be with the reporter.
Thank you. And in this cow town, these hayseeds, come on, man, I cut my teeth in New York. I sent you emails. I need clarification. Here are the documents. Nothing. So I get this. I wake up to this letter. Can I do a few pieces out of it? To whom it may concern. Yesterday, the Detroit News published an erroneous and unsubstantiated opinion piece by Charlie LeDuff. The piece falsely claims, among other things, that the Attorney General breached a firewall. In the interest of public information and education, the department is responding to these false factual claims in the opinion piece. I'll jump here. The isolation wall's purpose is not to prevent any and all communications between the Attorney General and her staff related to the investigation. This is why the isolation wall explicitly states that such communications are permitted where they do not violate the rules of professional conduct. Let me quote from Mr. Teeter's staff-wide memo. Mr. Teeter said, Department employees shall, 1, exclude Attorney General Nessel from access to the Criminal Investigations Division and Financial Crimes Division's files in this matter. 2, refrain from discussing this matter in the presence of Nessel. 3, prevent Nessel from viewing any documents or material in the investigation that may be related to this matter. And 4, refuse to receive any information related to this matter from or provide any information related to this matter to Attorney General Dana Nessel. It's clear as day. Oh, we can talk. No, that's your people. I'll go on from the letter. None of the communications between Attorney General Nessel and her staff violated any rule of professional conduct. Emails provided to LeDuff show the Attorney General electronically received reports of an investigation after its conclusion. The emails correctly state the file was not yet closed, but this does not mean that the investigation was open or active. Okay? Here's the emails they sent me. On December 2nd, a woman named Blanca wrote to Jeff and Ashley in Nessel's office. December 2nd. Hi, Jeff and Ashley. I'm just following up on this file to be sure it doesn't get buried. Right here. Big red type. Big red bold type. This file does have a conflict wall. Exclude Attorney General Dana Nessel from access to the criminal investigations. That's on the 2nd. On the 5th, Dana Nessel's chief investigator sends her the 4 files, and they're active. I know because this is Nessel's email, and you click them, and it's the ongoing criminal investigation into the suspect. Her office's words, not mine. Cornack, the suspect. The next day, on December 6th, is when Nessel says, I just spoke with Miss Cornack. What's going on? She needs, this is like Hunter Biden calling Merrick Garland, the Attorney General of the United States, and saying, hey, I've got a judicial appointment waiting for me in the Ukraine. I need the passport back. What's going on? And then Garland calls Special Prosecutor Weiss and goes, hey, what's going on with that? And he's got a ticket for Saturday. Can you imagine if that happened? Okay. But that's what we got here. The next day, on the 7th, okay, the 2nd, everybody's warned, it's still on. The 5th, she gets him. The 6th, she starts asking everybody. The 7th, this from Blanca again to Kate. Hi, Kate, I'm sending you this email since I saw the request. This file is not closed yet. This case is open. Open. Remember, you can't see anything, and you did. I didn't make this up. That's what happened. 2 weeks after this, magically the case is closed. Magically, the case. Okay. Here's what's going on. They're drafting up articles of impeachment, Ms. Nessel, as we speak in Lansing. I know it's the Republicans. It's show. But what happens if Kent County? What happens if they picked up this investigation? What happens if they find a lot of stuff? And this thing's been going on for 10 months. What's that going to say? Let me continue with the letter. The Attorney General did not pressure department attorneys to close the investigation, which was already concluded by the time the cited communications, nor to close the file, which had already been in the process of closure for weeks. Is everybody getting this? Is this boring?
No.
Is this bullshit?
That is, but what you're saying is not, because it's offering clarification and distinction between what happened and what she's attempting to counter, which has nothing to do with the reality.
Okay, so let's go on. Like, I didn't pressure anybody, but it sure sounded to me when it says, please advise what our process should be. There's some urgency to the matter. The boss calls up and there's an urgency to the matter. Come on. My boss calls me, man, I drop everything. If the boss says, take your time whenever your plate's clean, if you can check into it. By the way, you're not allowed to check into it, boss. You're not allowed to check into it. I'm going to go on with this thing here. A critical component to the closing of the investigation was a lack of a cooperating complainant. The complainant in this matter, quoted by the Detroit News, never returned a single phone call from the department investigators. The claims of the complainant were never substantiated by the investigation, and the investigation was concluded long before December 5th. Long before December 5th. Even though on December 2nd, hey, everybody, there's a firewall here. This thing is not concluded. It's a joke. Now you know why Flint's all fucked up. MSU's all fucked up. The MSU shooter, Benton Harbor, every dumb.
Dum-da-dum-dum. Dum-da-dum-dum-dum. Dum-da-dum-dum. Dum-da-dum-dum. Dana.
Now, goes on. LeDuff irresponsibly insinuates that the Department of Attorney General did not contact Joe LeBlanc. Remember Nursing Home Joe? We had him on. Even though records provided to LeDuff showed that it was LeBlanc who never responded to repeated calls from department investigators. First of all, Donald Trump is now on trial for his businesses, right? He overvalued his assets and, he defrauded banks, even though the banks didn't look into it, and the banks got paid back on their loans with interest, and nobody claims they got defrauded. They still went ahead with it because you're allegedly breaking the law, and we're going to hold you to it, we the people.
Right.
That's what attorney generals do, okay? But LeDuff implies that LeBlanc was fired because he blew the whistle on Cornack, even though records provided to LeDuff show that LeBlanc had submitted his resignation nearly a year prior, giving 1 year's notice. So he gave 1 year's notice, but didn't get to finish out a year.
But wait a minute. As an appointee, you signed an undated letter of resignation. That's not applicable to that position?
Let's not even guess.
All right, that's fine. All right.
He gave, hey, I'm gonna, you're changing over.
Right.
I'm giving you a year notice. He didn't get to serve out the year.
Okay.
But we can get into that. And LeDuff twice implies that Cornack was accused of exploiting a vulnerable adult when there was no such allegations, even from LeBlanc. Now, I guess this whole thing, why they dropped it, was the crack investigators from the Attorney General's office could not find Joe LeBlanc, former nursing home director. And I wonder, whatever became of Joe LeBlanc? How do you find Joe LeBlanc? Oh, hey, Joe LeBlanc. What's going on, brother?
How are you?
Well, you were sitting there the whole time, Dana.
You found him.
Well, hey, man, thanks for coming in from the west side.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate that. Okay, let's just do this real quick, Joe, okay? I wrote the column. You gave me the documents, right? Back last summer. Yeah.
Correct.
It appeared in the newspaper, so you blew the whistle. Where you worked, right?
Yep.
That was all there. Then you came on the show.
I did.
Right?
Yep.
All good. Blew the whistle twice. And then at the nursing home, that you had, what, 2 months left to serve, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay, so you had 2 more months that you agreed to, okay. And did you get a call from the Attorney General's office that next day after you appeared on the program?
I did.
You did?
I did.
And they were curious about what happened, what your take on it was?
Yeah.
What did you do there, Joe?
I gave it to the attorneys.
From where? What attorneys?
My attorneys.
From the nursing home?
Yeah.
What'd they tell you?
Give it to us. We'll take care of it.
Give it to us. We'll take care of it. Don't answer. You're an employee here. We'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get a call. You give it to the attorneys. And then you got 2 months left. What happens the next week to you?
I'm told I'm going to be let go at the end of the day.
You're told that day you're dismissed. Get your shit out by the end of the day?
Yeah.
Bobblehead, pens, snow globes.
Yeah.
The spare tie in the drawer. Get it all out of here and get out by the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you do before you left, Joe? Before you left that day?
I filed a report through the portal.
What portal?
The Attorney General's portal, the elder abuse portal,
So
nursing home portal.
The Attorney General had just started an elder abuse portal, right? Blow the whistle on financial crimes, potential fraud, abuse, right?
Yeah.
You filed a report as Joe LeBlanc, not director of the newsroom, Joe LeBlanc.
Correct.
Okay. Now, according to these documents, Joe, they kept calling that number at your desk, but they knew that you didn't work there anymore.
Yeah.
So there's no way for you to return a call. Did they ever call your cell phone?
No.
Not too hard to find. You may or may not put it in the report. It was a long time.
It's right there.
I can Google it. I found it online in 3 minutes today. It's easy. It's easy. Nexus Lexus, crack staff down there. Couldn't find Joe. Now, Joe, maybe a week or two after that, you requested that I forward the documents on to the Attorney General's investigator.
Correct.
Because you'd heard nothing.
Correct.
So you gave me a zip file. And I forwarded those on by email. I still have the email. How do you know that I did that?
You're in my driveway.
I was in your driveway.
You're in my driveway.
What do you mean I was in your driveway? What was I doing in your driveway, Joe? Why would I be in your driveway?
You interviewed me filming.
I was interviewing. I filmed you. And you said, please send it, and I did. And when I spoke to the investigator on the phone, did I not?
You did.
And I sent it, did I not?
You did.
And she said, thank you. I would like that file, yes?
Correct.
And then I said, well, I'm in Joe's driveway. He's right here. Would you like to talk to him?
You did.
Did she want to talk to you?
No.
No. So the files will be...
Right. Send the files.
Let me have the files. That'll be
Send
great.
the files.
And then you never received a phone call again?
Never.
Never got a...
I didn't know there was an investigation.
Did you know the investigation was closed?
No. Until you told me.
So you never, from that day I was in your driveway, ever got a call from an investigator again?
Not once. No.
Any investigator? Any investigator?
Well, in January I got a call from Kent County's investigators.
Okay, so the AG didn't call you.
No.
But investigators from Kent County Grand Rapids called you.
They did.
What did they call you about, Joe?
This case, they saw it on your show.
They saw the case where you were blowing the whistle.
Yeah.
They saw this. How did they get your cell phone number?
I don't know. I
Crack investigators, apparently. Huh.
That's a good question.
Hey, Dana, maybe I ought to, hire some fucking credible people. Okay, so they called you in relation to this case.
Yeah.
And what did you do?
I went in.
You went in.
24 hours later.
24 hours later?
Yeah.
24 hours later, they called you. You're in the investigator's office.
I sat in there for 4 hours.
4 hours.
4 hours.
Giving statements.
Statements. I gave the documents, my computer, my phone. I gave everything. Here you go.
Everything. Did you bring a lawyer?
No.
Huh. Doesn't sound unwilling to me.
Doesn't sound coerced. Any of that.
Okay, Joe, so there is an investigation going on, as far as you know.
Yeah.
As far as I know, as my sources tell me. So, this is bullshit, Dana.
Dum-da-dum-dum. Dum-da-dum-dum-dum. Dum-da-dum-dum. Dum-da-dum-dum. Dana.
You violated the firewall. There's an open investigation. You dropped it. You never talked to Joe. You left phone calls to a deadline. Joe, I'm going to ask you one more thing, man. I know you got to get back to the west side of the state. Why did you do this? This almost wrecked your life, but you're a strong dude. Why did you do it?
It's in my job description, and I care. Thank you for caring too, man. I appreciate it.
Don't get all broken up, dude. There's no time for emotion. Why did you do it?
Because I love these people. Nobody else is standing up for them. Nobody is standing up for them.
The old and the infirm.
Yeah.
That's what you do in life.
That's what I do. Yeah.
Have you ever done this before? Have you ever, reported to the authorities abusive behavior or fraudulent, alleged, I ain't saying, you got to investigate, I ain't trying to indict anybody. But have you ever gone to the authorities?
I've done this at least a dozen times.
It's important to say you were the director of this facility for 9 years.
Yeah.
Right? 160 people.
Yeah.
Not one of them, and I looked, not one of them died during COVID.
Not one.
Good, healthy place. Okay. You've done this before. How many times have you alerted the authorities about a potential abuse or fraud on the elderly and
I would say 10 to 12, 10, at least a dozen, And
how'd those cases turn out?
Convictions in every one. Except one. Yeah.
Except one. Did anybody do jail time?
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
And now this time you're getting fired for doing what you've always done.
What's the variable?
Huh?
The difference between the earlier one and this last one.
Well, you make that call. Don't make him get in trouble.
I'm asking you then, Charlie.
You do it.
No, you do it.
I know what you're asking. You do it. I'm already on.
I got it. I'm just saying, but people have to look at the relationship with the person that the complaint would have reflected on. That's the variable. Okay,
you mean let's do regular English? You're the treasurer for the Michigan Democratic Party. You've got very powerful friends. Governor Whitmer, who I called in the beginning, asked about this. What's going to happen? No call back. I called Nessel last time. No call back. I called Lavora Barnes. Yeah, is that correct? The chairwoman of the state party. Nothing. Nothing. Okay. So when I'm reading this, Ms. Cornack is waiting on a judicial appointment. And I sent the email to the twit, the latest press secretary, the one who doesn't answer his phone and doesn't answer emails. Clarify this. What judicial appointment? You mean you're going to appoint Cornack to the bench? Who would do that? Who's got that power? Whitmer? Mm-hmm. Or was the probate judge going to give you another client? Appoint you another client? I don't know. I'd like to know. But you ain't doing this shit to me. Come on the show. Excuse me, program. I'm not being punked. That didn't work. In fact, what does everybody think this signals? Holy shit? Huh? Huh? Mark?
Yeah.
You went, huh? What does that signal to you? About the state of Nessel's office's mind?
Well, I mean, to me, I'm just an idiot. They wanted to bury it. He's a friend.
No, they didn't want to bury it.
They wanted to get rid of it.
They flipped out.
Yeah.
They're trying to tamp it down, but you just blew it up.
Yeah.
Now you're all in. You're 100% in.
And you can't keep track of what you said when and what lies. Well, I won't say lies.
Inconsistencies.
Or maybe she's hoping nobody else is keeping track. That's the thing.
You're all in. I don't know what Kent County has or what they'll do or what politics means. But it's a fact. They called Joe, you didn't. So back to fuck off. We'll be back. Well, when it rains, the power goes out. And when the power goes out, the internet goes out. When the internet goes out, I call my friend Matt and Bernie at XG Service Group. Look at Bernie here on his hands and knees, giving it everything he's got. Look at that man crack. So busy, he forgot to wear a belt. There's Matt right there getting the board together. That's 734-245-4100 if you need Matt and Bernie to come take care of your voice over internet, your security cameras, off-campus access control, Wi-Fi, and cameras for homes and business. They'll design it for you. You got restaurants, they do drive-through systems, railroad cameras for public safety, total wireless camera systems for your home and business. Yeah, that's right. Call XG Services at 734-245-4100. No BS News Hour brought to you by Legacy Partners Insurance. Do what we've all done here. Call them, 586-209-4106. They will shop for a better insurance rate for you. You will pay less and get more coverage for your home, your car, your motorcycle, your camper, your vacation cottage, all of it. They'll even help you with life insurance and Medicare. Call Legacy Insurance, 586-209-4106. Have them wrap their arms around you. Be covered. Be safe. ADR Consultants, experienced overseeing more than $250 million in public and construction projects since the turn of the century. They're competent. If you want to reduce your costs and increase your bottom line, you want to cut the red tape, you're going to need somebody that knows how to navigate it. That would be ADR Consultants in procurement and government compliance and information technology. ADR, smart, get the job done right, on time, on budget. 248-318-9424. Call Barry Ellentuck for a free consultation. Feeling stressed out? Feeling a little bit anxious? Got trouble sleeping? You biting your nails? Try Next Evo Naturals, CBD based. Stay well. The fall, the weather's changing, right? Maybe your mood is. Get yourself calm. CBD from Next Evo Naturals. Go to nextevo.com/nobs and get 25% off and a free bottle of premium pure CBD. You can get their stress or sleep complexes. That's nextevo.com/nobs. I got to do it again. These emails correctly state the file was not yet closed, but this does not mean that the investigation was open. Okay, file is short. You know what the full word is? Case file. The case file is open.
Well, the opposite of closed is open, right? I think.
It was.
Right.
December 7th, December 6th, you've got your 5th, December 5th, you've got him, Madam Nessel, when it says here, you are not to access any of it.
Yeah.
Okay, December 7th, this file's not closed. December 2nd, exclude Attorney General Nessel from the case file. Okay?
Yeah.
We got dog-ass leadership, man. I'm sitting here all week going like this. Has everybody smart left the state of Michigan? Is anybody smart left? We got absolute dopes running this shit. And we all know it. This country, everything.
And we don't have leaders anymore, Charlie. I mean, we don't. We have people that occupy positions for their own benefit.
Self-serving pricks.
That's exactly.
Right?
It's not public service. It has become self-service.
Do we have any theme music for this? And now for Detroit's congressional civil war.
Oh.
Rashida Talib versus Shri, Thanedar. Yeah, go ahead. I'll wait. I'll just light this cigarette.
Okay.
Detroit, 2 congressmen. People. Congress folk. Right?
That works.
They stand for so little that they don't know what to say when something like a terrorist attack from Hamas butchers over 1,000 people, and then the Israelis respond, and innocent people die in air raids, right? They don't know what to say. They don't realize that they live in a multicultural place.
Yep.
Metro Detroit, 250,000 Muslims, 100,000 Jews, 160,000 Chaldeans, right? Plus the Christians, plus the Hindus, plus the Buddhists, the Baptists, you know what I'm saying? This is a real place.
The Hmong, we got a large Hmong community here too.
This is unbelievable. And so Rashida Talib cannot say she condemns a terror attack by Hamas that kills innocent people in their sleep, right? In fact, I don't know why Joe Biden's going over there and getting in the middle of this thing like he did with the UAW strike. That's not working out good, Joe. You gotta look like something, Joe. But a missile, a shell, something falls on a Baptist hospital in Gaza. And immediately Gaza, the Hamas puts out that it's an Israeli shell. Now it's starting to maybe look like it could be a Hamas shell that went bad because there's no crater there, right? It just looks like the accelerant lit on fire and burned everything up. But that didn't stop Rashida Talib, right? After she's hiding, when she starts getting ripped by the press, like you can't condemn terrorism, she tweets, because she's looking for it, she tweets, Israel just bombed the Baptist hospital, killing 500 Palestinians, doctors, children's patients, just like that. POTUS, President of the United States. This is what happens when you refuse to facilitate a ceasefire and help de-escalate. Your war and destruction only approach has opened my eyes and many Palestinian American and Muslim Americans like me. See that pandering? It didn't open Jewish eyes or Gentile eyes. You know what I mean? We will remember where you stood. Here she is, lathering up a crowd. I love how she can turn on the tears.
People think it's okay to bomb a hospital with children. You know what's so hard sometimes is watching those videos and the people telling the kids don't cry. And like, let them cry. And they're shaking, and somebody, you know this, they keep telling them not to cry in Arabic. They can cry, I can cry, we all can cry.
My president, to our president. Yes, he's still on, well, hold on. I want him to know, as a Palestinian American, is also somebody of Muslim faith, I'm not going to forget this.
Oh. Is that a threat?
Wow.
You said, "Oh, how do you read that?"
Pretty aggressive. I mean, along with her tweet too.
Then a bunch of people went into the rotunda and took it over, like
right after that.
A couple
Pretty
of
quick.
3 people are charged with abuse on a cop. Okay, everybody's starting to pull the same little trick, aren't they? Now, I don't like this leadership. Nobody's leading. Why wouldn't she say to this multicultural society that she represents, everybody be cool, let's see what's going on? Because if it's shown and it's starting to look like it, I don't know. But if it was Hamas's shell, then what? You condemning them? Yeah. What's going on here? Yeah. I don't know. And I'm, as a public figure, try to be careful. Dana. Okay? All I know about Rashida, I've known her since I got here in 2008. All I can say is I know you're an opportunist. I know you cheated on your property taxes 3 times. You didn't pay back the city of Detroit. And your own father called me to call you a scam. That's what I know. So start leading. You did nothing in this town. Those demolition holes are full of poison. You didn't do anything. Right? That's environmental racism perpetrated by Democrats. And you didn't do anything. And yes, Mayor, there will be some more federal stuff being announced, I'm told, by some federal sort of people.
Federal sort of people?
Yeah, you make it go away, statute of limitations, the whole 9 yards. Okay, you didn't do that. Now, on the other side, Rashida was asked to come on, and what'd she say to you, Karen?
She said she was working with the president to call for a ceasefire. She was busy
Does it
with
sound
that.
like working with the president?
Rashida Talib is busy negotiating ceasefire in the Middle East. And yet she's on the steps crying and telling everybody we're going to remember. Oh, good work.
Jesus Christ.
No, Shri, who also represents Detroit, also a Democrat.
Really?
He's at war with Rashida, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he said, if the Democratic Socialist Association, what is that called? Read that, Mark.
All right.
This from Shri Thanedar. He's posting this on Twitter. Everybody's doing Twitter. Everybody looking for 5 minutes on some cable show. Go ahead.
Today I'm officially renouncing my membership in the Democratic Socialists of America after the brutal terrorist attack on Israel, which included the indiscriminate murder, rape, and kidnapping of innocent men, women, and children. I can no longer associate with an organization unwilling to call out terrorism in all its form. Sunday's hate-filled and anti-Semitic rally in New York City, promoted by the NYCDSA, makes it impossible for me to continue my affiliation. I stand with Israel and the right to defend itself. There's no place for moral equivocation. I knew I was going to stumble somewhere. In the face of unadulterated evil, as we have seen from Hamas. So it is the Democratic Socialists of America that he's left.
Pretty firm statement, right?
Pretty solid, yeah.
Okay, it's firm. Okay, I see that. A lot of questions. First of all, we invited him to come on. You need to address your constituents, and we're sitting in the middle of your district. Karen is in the middle of your district, and we can't get any answers from you. Now, I was talking to his people and him, and he said, very busy right now with this Speaker of the House imbroglio going on, right? Lot of stuff going on. And I wrote him back. I'm like, you're a fucking Democrat. You vote no, and what's that take? 5 minutes?
2 seconds, yeah.
What are you so busy doing? You vote no. Okay. I also find it remarkable that a multi-millionaire is a socialist.
Yeah.
How does that work out?
Well, I'll get you elected.
Yeah, it gets you elected. You pay $5 million every year to win a popularity contest, and nobody ever hears from you in the district.
But you know what, Charlie? That speaks to our voters. Like, we allow this to happen, and we don't hold them accountable. We don't demand anything more. He was in front of the Spirit of Detroit doing the hustle, and he's doing all this performative stuff that does nothing for the quality of life for the people that he represents, and that's okay.
Thank you, right?
And that's okay. So yeah, he did buy the election. He bought the election.
And now he's got a world of hurt coming because he's got to come around. And every time he's having trouble, he calls up here and tries to plant stuff. And I'll look into it. If it's true, I'll
borrow a line from Rashida. We will remember this.
We will remember this. Now, Rashida's firing back on him because of tweets that Shri's people, his former chief of staff, I believe, was putting out there. Give us a few of what his own staff was saying about it.
Okay, the first one is, there's so much I can
say. Who
his
wrote
name
these?
is Adam Y. Abosala, and this is on Twitter. There's so much I can say, but what's important to know is that Shri is all about himself. He's the most ignorant, self-centered, and uninformed human I've ever worked with. And if you're wondering, yes,
I'll vote for it.
His hair is fake, and he killed the monkeys and beagles.
His hair is fake. No, go from the top and then end with that one. Go from the top. Like,
start all over?
No, like
here, read this one, number 5 there.
What is it? Yeah. What's 5 say?
I once attended an event with him in Detroit when we were walking up to the church.
I wanted to read that one.
Read it.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
In Detroit, when we were walking up to the church, he saw a group of black men outside. He looked at me and said, "Will you take a bullet for me?" I looked at him and said, "Absolutely not." He was pissed.
Okay, give me another one. Okay,
Right.
like he's having his staff
Yep.
do campaign shit for him, which is a no-no.
True. He talked about the difficulty in...
Give me that one.
Okay, another staffer who quit said, "I don't care about policies or legislation right now. I just need you to focus on my re-election." I always reminded him that congressional work and campaign work needed to be separate, but he didn't care. And so he went on to talk about every week.
Okay,
he
read number
newsletter.
7 here. I like this one.
7, Shri would always ask me to follow what Rashida and AOC were doing so, quote, he can be popular like them and gain followers. He called me once past midnight to ask me why AOC had over 10 million followers and he had only 3,000.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
And there's more. You can go. He has a thread.
Yeah, Adam Y.
Abosala.
Okay, now read me the last one about his fake hair.
That wasn't. Oh, wait a minute. This one's... Wait a minute. Director, chief of staff, he wouldn't promote them and he'd keep those positions open until he found a man, preferably a white man, because he wasn't comfortable with black women.
Well, there goes you.
I guess so. It says, if you're wondering, yes, his hair is fake and he killed the monkeys and the beagles.
What? His hair is fake and he killed the monkeys?
And the beagles.
And the beagles?
Is that how he got his hair?
Well, see, here's what's happening. He made his money like Vivek Ramaswamy. Right? He's in pharmaceuticals.
Mm-hmm.
And like Vivek Ramaswamy, he goes bankrupt. Okay? So when he goes bankrupt, he's got to hand over like his testing labs and stuff. He hands them over, but nobody takes care of the beagles and the monkeys. They're locked in the cages. Everybody abandoned the beagles and the monkeys. He's a beagle killer. Little long ears, beagles. But here's the thing. We've got the videotape. Here's the beagles getting rescued.
We believe that they have never been outside ever.
I don't think that they've actually had their paws on the grass. When I walked in here, it looked like they were walking on eggshells. They were kind of afraid to walk on the grass.
It's okay.
These are animals that don't understand what being a dog really is.
The grass hurt his feet. Oh, hello, good girl.
So maybe abandonment is his MO.
I don't know. He could come on here and explain it, but he won't do it because they're pandering. Come ask. We need to know what you're doing here, what your position is. Can't you guys calm down?
And elected officials ought to say what they think and what they feel, rooted in the sincerity of who they are, and stop trying to navigate and say what they think is going to be popular or is going to minimize the criticism or pushback. That's the problem. And you can't do that. You can't play both sides of a fence.
And then understand who you represent. Pay your fucking taxes. Stop hustling. I live there, but you don't, or claiming a homestead when you don't live there. You owe the city a couple of grand and we're broke, so pay it. I'm looking for fucking leadership here. I got Skeleton Joe. You can't even walk up, the short stairs. And I got fucking Donald Trump, who's greasier than a goddamn French fry. I mean, I don't think either of these guys, man, are going to make it. Donald Trump looked like he's going to have a stroke.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, and if Donald Trump loses, right? What did he lose the last election by? What? 7 million votes? What if he loses by 2 million votes? What do we have in store for us this time around? And is Rashida Talib's people going to join him? And everybody goes in there and starts ripping up their... This is dumb shit. Look at what the Dow's doing. Look at interest rates. Look at the bonds. Look at how much debt. Think about your kids. And let's get serious. And stop tweeting your response. Send it to me like a fucking adult. All right, I'm pissed. It's going to be Halloween.
Really?
It's going to be Halloween.
When?
Pretty soon.
Sooner than you think.
We want to bring this one back from the vault, from the crypt. This is Red Baron on the hunt for some blood. Oh, by the way, if you want to see these, because visually this is a very good show, top 200. Thank you for making it so. Out of our very humble abode,
penthouse
at the American Coney Island in the middle of Shri district. So I want to thank you for that. And if you want to see these, you can go on YouTube, No BS News Hour. You can watch it on Twitter. And please tell your friends. Everybody's asking me where you at.
They are.
Y'all know. Just tell them where we're at. And demand better. And with no further ado, Count Red Baron.
Welcome to another Count Red Baron very scary Halloween special. Between the COVID and inflation, getting fresh blood has been a complete nightmare. Normally, I would drive the Red Baron mobile, but because a lousy driver hit my car, it'll be 6 months before they can repair it. So I have to fly. To the roof I go. I got to get a shorter lata. So I'm going to fly. I'm not as light as I used to be. Oh, that kind of hurt a little bit. I think I'm going to take the Q line instead. Hello, good citizens of Detroit. Can you direct me to the Q line?
Ah, I see. On the other side of Woodward, the train sometimes comes down.
He's going to close the doors on us. Hello, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm Dracula.
Count Red Baron. Count Dracula was a ripoff of me. Excuse me, sir. Do you know if I can take this to the blood bank? I need to make a withdrawal.
Hell no, we in Detroit, we don't fuck with bloods.
Oh my God, I think I've run into a gangbanger. I finally made it! Thank God. Riding on the queue line was worse than riding in my coffin to go somewhere. On to the blood. I finally made it to the blood bank. Now to go make a withdrawal. This is official business. I'm here to make a withdrawal from the blood bank.
That's fine, but there's no, you can't take any no pictures, no filming in here, because people for privacy issues, because some people don't want people to know that they donated. So,
What you say, donor? You mean I have to give blood? I was told I could come get the blood.
well, this is a plasma bank, not a blood bank. You might want to try the Red Cross.
The Red Cross. Oh, I don't like crosses at all. Well, thank you very much. I'm Count Red the Bearing. Does this guy not know who I am? I am Count Red the Bearing. I should bite him on the neck. This sucks. No blood. And I have to ride the queue line back home. The fucking thing goes in a circle. Oh, that's really scary.
Shout out to Hippie Jesus, shot and edited by Hippie Jesus. Hope you're doing well, dude. And Madam Attorney General, if you need to get a hold of Joe, do I have permission to give her your number? No. You can just call me or tweet it. I'll get back to you. Bye-bye.